What messages or signals are your triggers telling you about where you are on the path to burnout? Welcome to Great Transition Strategies Monday Morning Stand-Up. 5 minutes to get your week off to a great start and potentially give you something to help make you a more effective leader so you can love what you do. Burnout, it's out there. It's a syndrome that's been there for a while, and triggers. Let's connect the dots between those two. I've done a series on, I'm currently working on a series on triggers, a video series on triggers, and I've done some on burnout. Let's connect the dots and how they affect you as a leader. Let's start with the definitions. What are triggers? Any impulse that causes an action, positive or negative. A lot of times we think about triggers as being negative, and that's how we're going to talk mostly about it here, negative triggers. Any impulse that causes you to take action. So let's talk about what are some of those triggers. If your values are being violated, a person might trigger you, an environment might trigger you. It might be a case of you see someone being disrespected. I'm doing something about that. Values. A person comes into a meeting. Oh, boy, am I glad she's here. I know we're going to get a lot done. Positive trigger, moving forward. And then the reverse. Some kind of action or an environment. I love working in this place here. I'm always good when I'm here. Those are triggers. Now let's talk about burnout. Burnout it's a syndrome, not a medical diagnosis, and it has 3 elements. Number 1 element is exhaustion, physical and mental. Number 2, cynicism about your work, the professional work you're doing. And then number 3 is efficacy, lack of efficacy, feeling you're making an impact in your profession. Now let's look at putting those things together. How can these tell you, as we look at these, how can triggers tell you where you are on the spectrum of getting to burnout? Well, think about yourself. Now let's use yourself and someone that you're leading. Think about them in the workplace. And now let's do a little bit of a test. I think the place to start is, let's start with the definition of burnout. First is physical and mental exhaustion. Physical and mental exhaustion. Now I'm thinking burnout is, when you think about that, burnout is misalignment over a long period of time. So I think time and intensity happen. I think burnout happens over time. It doesn't just happen. Think about last month. Maybe you started a new job last month, June 1st. Do you start that job and on June 30th go, oh, I'm burned out? That's not, it takes time. It takes time to do that. There's a point of working hard and pushing yourself to get things done. But there's also, we are reinforced many times to do things that put us on the path to burnout. Fake it till you make it. No pain, no gain. First in, last out. Oh, that person always takes on all these projects. Sometimes those things can lead to burnout. Let's evaluate yourself. Let's start with the physical. What are things that are physically exhausting you? What are things that are pulling you down? The first place I start, sleep. Are you being triggered by your workplace, your professional requirements that are causing problems with sleep? Are you working too late? Are you being triggered to continue to work and go to bed late? Can you not fall asleep because your mind just constantly goes? Or you're being woke up, or you wake up early because you're feeling so pressed. There's some triggers right there. What about exercise? When you think about exercise, are you one of those people that used to drive home from work, stop at the gym, 45 minutes to an hour, feeling good? Man, am I glad I did that. You don't get the same out of it anymore? You're being triggered. Think you're not getting to the same level of relief that you had previously. What about eating, nutrition? Have you turned into a fast food warrior? The Coke and Snickers bar, eating out of the machine, not doing the thing, eating the way you want? Maybe you're being triggered by your position. Physical sides are really easy. What are the things triggering you to not have you feel the way you want to feel physically? Next one, mental. In working with my clients, a lot of times it's mental capacity, ability to concentrate. I just can't concentrate anymore. I'm being pulled from one thing to the next. My mind cannot stay focused. I'm making mistakes. I have so many things on my mind. I can't get to the end without mistakes. I'm making mistakes. I can't concentrate. Those are two of the biggest ones that happen. What about you? When you put these two together, what are the triggers you're getting? And do they have you more? Are you adapting to the point that you're on the path to burnout? Two, that physical and mental exhaustion, cynicism, and not being as effective as you want to be overall. What about that person that you're mentoring or leading? Are they on the path? What can you do about it? Assess yourself, see where you are on the path, and step in and make a difference now. So that way you do not burn out. Thanks for listening. Hope you found that helpful. See you next Monday morning, 8:30.